Hello, I'm Bernard Norcott-Mahany. I work at the Blueford branch of the Kansas City Public Library. You can see that I, in fact, have been running for the sloths. I did a little bit of exercise, but this is National Poetry Month, so I'm going to read a poem. Today's poem, in honor of the Olympics, is Pindar's Victory Ode to Hagesias of Syracuse. For the Olympic in 468 BCE, his victory in the mule car. So we talked about the mule car yesterday. Instead of a four-horse chariot, you'd have a car pulled by two mules. So this particular poem was performed in Pitana in Arcadia. So it was not actually performed in Syracuse, which was, Hagesias' hometown. Pindar trained the chorus there, but he was not there for the performance itself. Hagesias was a seer and a warrior, so he was a prophet, and he was also a military guy. And so that, of course, brings to mind in Pindar's mind. Remember, he's always trying to bring in a mythological connection to the winner of the event that he's describing. And so in this particular case, Amphiaraus was an Argive king. He went on the Argive expedition against Thebes, called the Seven Against Thebes expedition, because there were seven kings, so seven armies attacking the city of Thebes. And Amphiaraus was beloved of the gods, and he could actually predict the future, and he knew that the Argives were going to lose, but because he had sworn that he would go, he went anyways, even knowing that he would not be coming back. So, just like Amphiaraus, Hagesias is also a seer and a warrior. Pindar also brings in the myth of Iamus, who is one of Hagesias' ancestors, and the nymph Pitana, who is the nymph who gives her name to the place where the performance is. Pindar does add an interesting comment that I do want to sort of highlight. He says in the poem that he hopes that the song and his performance put to rest the idea that Boeotians are pigs. Now, Pindar came from Thebes, which was the main city in Boeotia, and the Thebans in particular and the Boeotians in general did have a bad reputation among the other Greeks. The Athenians really hated them. The Spartans sort of put up with them, but no one really liked them. So they did have sort of a bad reputation, and Hesiod hopes that this will, take care of that problem. All right. So this is Olympia 6 for Hagesias of Syracuse, the winner in the mule car. We shall set golden pillars under the chamber's well-made porch and build, as it were, a marvelous hall. When work is begun, the front must be made to shine afar. If there were an Olympian victor, steward at Pisa of God's oracular altar, and founders kin to glorious Syracuse, what hymn would that man not have if he found his townsmen unstinting in songs that he loves? Let the son of Sostratus know that to this sandal the gods have fitted his foot. Success without risk is not honored among men or in hollow ships, but if a fine task is done, many remember it. Hagesias, the praise waits for you, which Adrastus spoke in justice from truthful lips. For the son of Oicles, Amphiaraus, when the earth swallowed him and his shining mares. Then, when the seven pyres of the dead were done, Teleus' son spoke such a word in Thebes. I pine for the eye of my army, twice excellent, prophet and champion with the spear. This word holds of a man, the Syracusan master of the victory choir. I am not out to quarrel, nor over-eager to win, but I shall swear a mighty oath and witness this for him truly, and the honey-tongued muses will approve. Come, Fintus, now yoke the strong mules for me, quickly, that in a clean road we may mount the car, and I may come to a race of true men. Beyond others these mules know to lead the way, for they have won wreaths at Olympia. Therefore, to them I must fling wide the gates of song, and come in good time today to the ford of Eurotas and to Patana. She wedded, the story tells, Cronus' son Poseidon, and bore the violet-haired girl Evadna. She hid her maiden travail in her dress, and in the month of birth she sent servants and told them to give the child to Eileitidas's keeping. He ruled at Phaisana over the men of Arcadia, and had Alpheus for home. There Apollo cared for her, and first she touched the delights of Aphrodite. All that time she hid her child by the god, and kept not her secret from Apetus. With carking care he beat down unspeakable wrath in his heart, and went on his way to Pytho to ask about the sorrows he could not bear. She lay down her belt of scarlet woof and her silver pitcher under a blue bush, and bore a child of godlike spirit. To her the golden-haired sent the kind-hearted birth goddess and the fates. From her womb and from the love travail came Iamos straight to the light. In sharp distress she left him on the ground, but the gods planned that two bright-eyed serpents should nurse and feed him on the innocent poison of bees. When the king came driving from rocky Pytho, he questioned all in the house on the child whom Evadna had borne. The boy is begotten of Phoebus for sire. He shall surpass all men in prophecy to dwellers on earth, and his race shall never fail. So spake he, and they swore they had not seen or heard of the child, though he was 5 days old. He was hidden in the reeds and the pathless briars, his delicate body soaked with gilliflower rays of yellow and deep purple. Therefore his mother proclaimed that for all time he should be called by this undying name. When he plucked the flower of youth, the delightful, the golden crowned, he went down to the middle of Alpheus and called on Poseidon, the wide ruler, his grandfather, and on the archer, the watcher of Delos, built by the gods. He asked for himself the honor of nursing his people, all at night under the sky. Clear-toned, his father's words spoke in answer and called him. Rise, son, and behind my voice come hither to a land which all shall share. They came to the steep rock of Cronus' exalted son, who gave him there a double treasury of prophecy. Now you shall hear a voice that knows not lies, and when Heracles, the bold deviser, comes, a holy shoot from Alcaeus' son, and founds a feast of many men for his father, and orders the greatest of games, you shall set up an oracle on the topmost altar of Zeus. Since then the breed of Iamos' sons has wide renown among the Hellenes. Prosperity went with them. They honor achievement and pass to a way for all to see. Their witness is each thing done. Abuse from envious rivals hangs over all who drive in first on the 12th round, while a holy grace sheds honor and beauty upon them. If in truth, Hagesias, the men of your mother's race dwelt under Cylene's boundaries, and honored often in humbleness with many a suppliant sacrifice, the god's messenger, Hermes, who has charge of the games and the allotting of prizes, and honors Arcadia and its brave men, he, son of Sostratus, with his loud thundering father, brings your good luck to fulfillment. On my tongue I feel a sharp whetstone, and all willing I am dragged toward her with lovely streams of song by my mother's mother, Stymphale Metope, with beautiful flowers. Her daughter was Thebe, the driver of horses, whose beloved water I shall drink when I weave my pattern song for fighting men. Now stir your companions, Aeneas, first to proclaim aloud Hera of the maidens, and then to know if in honest truth we are quit of the old jibe, Boeotian pig. For you are a trustworthy messenger, cipher stick of the lovely-haired muses, sweet mixing bowl of loud-sounding songs. I have told you to remember Syracuse and Ortygia, which Hieron rules with a clean scepter and justice in his heart. He cares for crimson-footed Demeter, and for the feast of her daughter, the white-horsed lady, and for the strength of Zeus of Etna. The sweet-voiced harps and songs know him. May coming time not shatter his bliss. But with the gentleness men love, may he welcome the victory choir of Hagesias when it comes from one home to another. from the walls of Stymphalus, leaving Arcadia's mother and her fine flocks on a winter's night, it is good to have dropped 2 anchors from a swift ship. May God love them and bestow fortune and fame on both races. King, Lord of the sea, give straight sailing out of trouble, O husband of golden spindled Amphitrite, and swell to fruit the delicious flower of my songs. So that was Olympia 6 for Hagesias of Syracuse, victor in the mule car.